participants from all over the world. It is the privilege and honor that the Central Scientific Instruments Organization, a premier laboratory of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, is hosting this session, supported by CSIR headquarters and speakers from different CSIR labs, PGIMR and Alumco. This session is focused on SDGs 3, good health and well-being, and supports CSR mission of connect, collaborate, converge, and convert 5C towards global sustainable developments. The speaker will present the developments in the field. Now, I invite the chair of the session, Professor Santanu Bhattacharya, Director CSIR CSIU Chandigarh, to formally start the session and present the overview of the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so very good afternoon to all the distinguished guests, esteemed scientists, researchers, policymakers, and our global audience joining us virtually via Facebook or YouTube and other platforms. Indeed, it's a privilege and an honor for me to address you today on behalf of CSIR, CSIO at the the Science Summit 2025, UNGA 80, which is actually a landmark gathering. It reminds us of science's role, not just in innovation, but in healing our planet and its people. Today's theme of this summit, advanced and affordable medical devices, One Health and Food, is very aptly designed. It could not be more timely and more relevant. We stand at the crossroads today where the health of humanity, animals, food systems, and the environment are intricately linked to each other, where precision medicine intersects with ecological responsibility, and of course, where equitable access to healthcare must go hand in hand with sustainability and resilience. India's healthcare transformation exemplifies how science, technology, and collaboration can serve both people as well as the planet. Our progress in precision medicine, diagnostics, therapeutic devices, rehabilitation technologies, and of course, the AI-driven healthcare solutions is really a testament to what can be achieved together when the scientific expertise meets purpose-driven innovation. We have several instances at CSIR where such demonstrations have been made. Phenom India, for example, is one of the wonderful examples. It's a CSIR project, which is harnessing the power of multi-omics and artificial intelligence together to discover biomarkers that not only personalize treatment, but also enhance preventive care. These innovations ensure that healthcare interventions are targeted, they're cost-effective, and patient-centric. Such advances are really critical, not just for individual well-being, but also for public health at large across the globe. At CSIR, CSIO, indeed, we are very proud to contribute transform and design for the last mile delivery, from the virtual reality-based rehabilitation systems to exoskeletons and to low-cost prosthetics manufactured with support from industry partners like Alumco. We are really very grateful to work in this ecosystem together towards making assistive devices available to every citizen of this country, regardless of geography or income. Our work in AI-enabled vision systems and computational imaging further exemplifies how technology can lower the cost of care while improving safety and outcomes. These systems reduce unnecessary radiation exposure and diagnostic errors, helping healthcare providers make better decisions without burdening patients financially. Equally important is the work of one of our sister laboratories, National Physical Laboratory, NPL, which ensures that the biomedical standards in India are aligned with global benchmarks. Robust standards are critical for building trust, ensuring interoperability, and facilitating global collaboration. Together, these initiatives reflect a philosophy that healthcare innovation must be inclusive, it must be equitable and sustainable. Science indeed cannot be confined to only the laboratories or only to the urban centers. It really must outreach the remotest corners, empower the vulnerable communities, and strengthen the local capacities of any region around the globe. We must acknowledge a fundamental truth that healthcare cannot be a privilege reserved for the wealthy. The transformative power of biomedical devices is realized only when they are accessible to all, especially those in underserved regions. Millions of people across the world still lack access to basic diagnostic tools, assistive devices, and therapeutic technologies simply because of the cost barriers. Without affordability and solutions which actually invoke affordability, scientific advances can never come from to the scale that it should or it's intended to be. And populations don't get served unless this cost barrier can be crossed over. At CSIR, CSIO, we indeed believe that affordability is not a compromise on innovation, it is an essential part of it. Designing cost effective solutions that maintain high standards of efficacy, reliability, and safety is at the core of our mission. Whether it is low cost prosthetics that restore mobility or AI powered imaging systems or ensure early detection of diseases, every innovation must serve the many, not just the privileged few. That is our mantra that we take forward in our biomedical engineering program at CSIR. The One Health approach, recognizing that human, animal, or environmental health are inseparable from each other, is no longer an academic concept anymore. It is, in fact, practice all around the world. It's an urgent call to action from various communities around the world. Climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution, and food insecurity are converging to create health crises that disproportionately affect the marginalized. Science-driven solutions must account for these complexities, ensuring that interventions are mindful of ecosystems, cultural contexts, and long-term planetary interventions well-being. As highlighted in this year's summit theme, decision-making often overlooks the true value of nature, prioritizing short-term financial gains over environmental integrity. Science teaches us otherwise. It reveals the deep interconnections between the water, the food, the health, the climate, everything in one umbrella. A holistic data-informed approach is not only optional, but today, in fact, it is essential for all scientific communities if we really were to build a resilient future. That is why we at CSIO are committed to advancing technologies that serve both people and the planet as such. Our work in precision diagnostics, our work in therapeutic devices and rehabilitation technology is driven by this belief at the core that healthcare is a right, not just a privilege, and that innovation must be sustainable, responsible, and scalable. Looking ahead, collaborations will remain our greatest strength. Needless to say, our partnerships between governmental institutions like the PGIMIF Chandigarh, which is just close by, research organizations, industry players, startups, other global bodies are very, very vital to translating scientific discoveries into what we can call tangible benefits. We do need open data sharing. We do need regulatory alignments. We do need capacity building and cross-sectoral partnerships to ensure that science serves the most vulnerable while protecting the ecosystem that sustains us. As the director of CSIR CSIO, I extend my heartfelt commitment to this global mission. Together, we can ensure that science is not only a tool for innovation, but a force for compassion, resilience, and planetary stewardship. Let this summit reaffirm our shared commitment and our shared purpose to build a world where scientific knowledge is applied with wisdom, where healthcare reaches every individual and to the last mile, and where development never comes at the expense of Earth's fragile balance. Thank you again for giving me this opportunity to share some of my views in the India's journey towards a more healthier, more equitable, and more sustainable world. I look forward to the insights and collaborations that this summit will surely inspire. Thank you very much. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.
Namaskar. Greetings from India, CSIR, CSIO. I thank you, sir, for your inaugural address and your leadership and visionary direction in the area of affordable and advanced medical devices that is required by the country and the world. I, Nilesh Kumar, the convener of this UNGA session, now would like to invite the first speaker for this session, Dr. Viren Sardana, Principal Scientist, CSIR IGIB, New Delhi, for his talk on the topic Phenom India translating into the era of precision medicine in the Indian landscape.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Nilesh, for the kind introduction and a very enlightening talk from Director CSIR, CSIO Chandigarh. And with all the due regards to the UNGA and thanks to CSR headquarters for organizing this and to UNGA for considering this as a valuable session with a very important theme of good health and well-being. I'll just take a short glimpse into the Phenom India CSR Health Cohort Knowledge Base project, which actually dives into and takes us over the translation into the precision medicine era for India. So starting out, basically, we will just cover up what the Phenom is about, what the objectives were when it was planned, and how we went around the first phase and what all data we collected. Right now, we are into the second phase data collection. So it's a pan CSR project, but let's go into the genesis and the plans overall. So as seen in this particular slide, you can see that a large part of the world and have their own biobanks, and they have been doing these cohort studies, developing their own standards and not depending on the standards only from any of the particular region of the world. They had now accumulated a large number of samples which could be used for precision medicine per se. But during the COVID era, we actually realized that we don't have any major biobank in India, and a large part of the population globally now knows very well about these biobanks, especially UK Biobank has come out greatly for all the work throughout, and then China Biobank, Korea, Taiwan, they also build their biobanks. And when we actually went back, we actually saw that Indian origin and Southeast Asian properly contribute a large part of the global diaspora. So establishing this makes it further important that we should have India specific data and or South Asia specific data. So establish large scale biorepositories, and this led us to basically harness the spread and the through the length and breadth of the country, the CSR labs, which we actually have, you can see in this particular image, spanning from Jammu and Kashmir in the north to Kerala and Ahmedabad, Gujarat in the west to all around Assam in the east. So we have a pan-India presence of CSR labs. So we harness the manpower at these labs, and these being scientific manpower, we established the Phenom India cohort, including the working manpower, their spouses, retired personals, and their spouses. And being a scientific personnel, we actually anticipated that there would be a low attrition rate, which is important to working and the future of the cohort. So we have excellent in-house capacity for all scientific work and omics studies, big data analysis, etc. And a lot of labs of these are actually contributing to objectives in particular what we are doing. So we anticipate that seeing this particular work, other institutes like DBT, ICMR, Defense and Railways comes and help realize these goals faster, so that we could have India-specific normative data, India-specific values which we could consider, because you understand that the India is a very heterogeneous state, and being having population of different ethnicities, three or four typically from the indigene, and though this is a captive cohort and it's a convenience-based cohort, definitely with its own limitations, but we had to start somewhere, and it was a first step which we took for a pan-India presence. And this realization actually came through our experience during COVID-19, where during the period of SARS-CoV-2, 2020, 21 follow. We actually collected 3 times samples from around 10,000 people at each time point. And we could actually demonstrate some of the major findings which relate to major policy decisions, both at the government level and at the research level, how the antibodies were developing and how they were neutralizing the virus. We published it well, and we could actually also demonstrate the vaccine effectiveness through these particular longitudinal studies. And one actually realizes the importance of longitudinal studies, that yes, we should have these also as our biobanks. So later on, we could assess it in future also, where we could have any such problems when we this particular instance which we saw during SARS-CoV-2. So going ahead, this particular study of Phenome India actually is targeted to develop useful personalized risk prediction scores for non-communicable diseases, typically cardiometabolic. And as you all understand, we have been relying, a large part of the world globally has been actually relying on some of the scores from different countries, including now from majorly it was the started at Framingham. Framingham cohort is the very well known, long term carried and very well organized cohorts. And now there have been scores coming in from other also, typically for cardiac morbidity, mortality, etc. And so we also wanted to understand that whether we should have an India specific score for typically cardiac, diabetes, and fatty liver. And then with this regard, we actually developed long term objectives that largely we will be focusing on diabetes and fatty liver disease, which has become a major problematic, large scale public epidemic proportions now. So we targeted of use of transient elastography to assess fatty liver disease, because of ultrasound could not be utilized in such a large field setting. So and we actually did with diabetes and other cardiac disorders, typically coronary artery disease. So, and sharing the vision from one of our meetings with the higher functionaries at CSIR headquarters, including our Director General and Honorable Minister, we actually could see that this particular Phenome India would be targeting, as Dr. Shantanu also said, to One Health, to assess and have a general provide future health risks for CSR staff, along with leveraging AI/ML for precision medicine, business strategy, building up new kits, diagnostics, and prognostics, which I will also give in one slide what we are doing. And basically visibility of CSR to the world in developing and utilizing pan-country cohort, publish the best, and to tie up with public and private entities, which we have already started doing after even the first phase data collection. So what we are all doing during this particular data collection, we have targeted around 10,000 samples, which we completed last year. The first phase is already done. And we collected body composition, ROS data signal, ECG, skin. And we can also be proud of telling that this is the study which has collected skin data at this particular scale for the very first time. And this is a objective assessment through a device where the skin data for Indians were collected for the first time at this particular large scale. We did a lung function testing, again, oscillometry, spirometry, hand grip strength, blood chemistry, molecular assays, liver fibroscan, and we maintain now a barcoded sample repository, which was inaugurated again this July 2025 by Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Shri Jatendra Singh Ji. And we now maintain a data repository complying to the HIPAA guidelines. And like a previous slide, so we did all this, and we are proud to say that some of these we have collected a large scale data collection. And this is the flow, basically what we all did for 10,000. We did basic biochemistry, all the scanning mentioned previously. And from the blood samples, typically we will be doing all this proteomics, metabolomics, which we have completed for phase 1. And apart from, and one of the major highlights of this particular slide is this microbiome. So we did around 6,250 gut microbiome samples during the phase 1 of this study, which is a feat in itself. And now the data being analyzed is expected to bring in some interesting insights, which we already have. And maybe the publications coming in near future would actually bring out some very interesting insights, which we are aware of that. And I can just tell in brief that yes, the gut microbiome is actually different in India than what is has been reported from other countries. And then we have a very small sample for which we did immunophenotyping and RNA sequencing. And going ahead, these particular, and it's not a single lab-oriented project, it's a true span CSIR project in one sense, with a lot of labs coming together to do different assays, different utilizing different techniques, performing different parameters of all these samples. It's a big sample size. And like this is one example. So we do metabolomics. We utilize a kit where we do 630 metabolites from 26 biochemical classes. We have done for 5,000 samples, never ever done at this large scale. And now we are coming with some very interesting insights and network maps for these particular metabolites. So this is just the flow of how this is happening, and MRM assays for protein understanding. Now, this is another, again, we are doing for a first time in Indian population at this large scale, though it has been reported from previously from some other countries, including China, of large scale studies, where we are doing all these highlighted elements for the first time in the Indian, these blood samples for all the 10,000 participants. We will be assessing these elements and see if these are in range and if there are any toxicity levels or specific related to geographies. Then this is just a slide to ensure that how we actually ensure HIPAA compliance, though it is not regulatory or definitive in our country, but still we abide by it. And these are some snapshots or phase one collection, how our teams move throughout the country. It was not an easy exercise and draining, but we were able to do. And now I am even happier to say that we are almost ready to finish off the phase two also. So we have been able to follow up the people. And like Dr. Shantanu said, it comes with its own caveats, but we are really thankful to all the lab directors, coordinators, manpower support, and everyone who made this project successful, CSR for funding. And phase one data collection resulted in basically these many data sets, and similar or higher is now the phase two data collection. And this I am reporting from the phase one. And you can see gut microbiome sample 6,200 and skin, which are on the right hand side, 10,000 participants. And these now we are in tie-up with some industries to take, and if this data could be utilized for building up machines or devices specific to India. And similar with metabolites, which we are now coming up where they could act as a precision markers for a particular disease prognosis or diagnosis. So the protocol paper is available now at Biology Methods and Protocols. You can access that and review it. And this is the end of the first phase. So there is no one person where we can thank here. And I present this actually on behalf of the entire Phenome India Consortium. And this was the end of the sample collection at NIO Goa at phase one. And with this, actually, I would like to acknowledge all the people, especially CSR, for funding and believing that, yes, this can be done. Directors and heads of CSR labs and centers specifically, as it is important to bring in the participants, and AIMS, PCARs, and PHFI for technical assistance, guidance, monitoring committees, and all our students and fellows and participation. So, and a special thanks to the participants. And with this, thank you. You can address any queries to our ISTAD office at CSIR headquarters, Dr. Rama, and I'll be stopping the slides here.
Thank you, Dr. Viren Sardana, for presenting the precision medicine in the Indian landscape. So now I invite Professor Sonu Goel in PGI MER Chandigarh. He will present the India's Decade of Innovation, advancing public health through affordable medical devices for equitable access. Over to you, sir.
So a very good morning and good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So first of all, thank you CSIR, CSIO for giving me opportunity to speak from the medical perspective. I'm a medical doctor, and I work in one of the tertiary care institute, that is PGI, and PGI and CSIR, CSIO have been working quite a lot in development of various devices. So,
excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. Can you convert it to full screen mode?
1 second. Is it fine?
Just a minute.
Is it working now?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go on.
Right. So, as I was talking that today is the era of multidisciplinary working and intersectoral coordination. So, if we have to reach the last mile, as has been talked about by the director CSIR, CSIO, to the last mile and to the last person in the community, we have to collaborate. So today I'll be presenting on India's decade of innovation. So I have not specifically listed some of the thing which have been done, but something which has been done in public health, because I belong to public health background, and what affordable medical devices has been developed. And mostly these devices has been developed in collaboration, primarily by CSIO, CSR, which I'll be talking in between. So we know that we have 1.4 billion people country and currently facing a dual burden of communicable and non-communicable diseases. So our innovation and devices are continuously changing as the context of the country is changing. And more or less, we want to ensure that each and every person, that is most vulnerable population, can access the devices which are being produced in this country. And there has been an unprecedented growth in medical devices innovation in India, which has been inspiring. I'll be talking about that in detail. We have the national initiative that is Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-sufficient India, Ayushman Bharat, which is coming in a big way in the current government era, and which has laid the formation and the foundation of these innovations which have occurred in last decade. So what makes this journey of innovation unique in our country, that most of the devices now which are being produced in our country are now not import dependent. Now they have become self-reliant, frugal, and globally relevant. So that means that over a period of time, India has now developed himself or itself as the country where the innovations are taking place within the country. And it has been seen or witnessed by the Global Innovative Index. And the Global Innovative Index has progressed from 81 rank. Previously, it was 81st rank in 2015, and it is now 39th rank in 2024. So there has been a leap of innovations which are occurring in our country. And what I am talking about is, we normally in public health talk about health system building blocks. That means that there are 6 building blocks which makes a good healthcare system. And I'll be talking about the devices which are linked to these health system building blocks, so that to make a health system robust, and every person in the community can afford and can take these devices. As we look at this decade, India's affordable, scalable, and equitable medical technologies stand apart as a model that has the ability to inspire other low and health information system, how the information is flowing, access to essential medicine, vaccines, and technologies, health financing, which is a very important pillar. And the 6th is leadership and governance. So what I'll be talking about is how the devices which have been developed in our country are related to these functions, or how they are going to strengthen these 6 building blocks. Then there we talk about the functional model of public health, which is basically provide lens to classify innovation. We talk about preventive diseases, how to avoid the disease onset, then come diagnostic, easy diagnostic. The disease is heard, how it, then we then there is a supportive role, that is strengthening the overall ongoing care, logistics, and monitoring to provide care. And then comes the rehabilitative role. Like the patient has not been treated, we can't do much, like for example, cancer or advanced diabetics. So we focus on post-treatment quality of life. So again, what I'll be doing is, this is a continuum which ensures the holistic strengthening of the healthcare system. So what we'll be doing is, we have some devices which are the interlinkages between this WHO health system building blocks and the functional model of public health, which I will be talking about. So now coming to the preventive innovations. So these are some of the preventive innovations which are indigenous in our country. Our previous speaker talked about the vaccines which have been developed, the precision technology which has been developed by CSIR, CSIO led by them. So the green highlighted one is the primary thing which has been led by CSIR, CSIO, and other, like for example, a mobile-based app for COVID surveillance, exposure alert, citizen awareness, that is known as Arogya Setu. So it has been developed as a preventive innovation. Then there is a COVIN, it's a digital platform which was managing the world's largest vaccination drive. And again, it was indigenously produced. There are many other preventive innovations, like, for example, diabetes and hypertension, which are coming up in a big way. How to do at our health and wellness center, which were previously the sub-centers or the lowest level healthcare functionaries. So how we can screen them. Then there is an early breast cancer device, which is just costing about rupees 100. That is just $1 to $2 per person. Then there is a non-invasive hemoglobin test via smartphones. GIS-based mapping is there for which $2. Invasive GIS-based, for example, tobacco cessation, how the nutrition is being tracked. So these are some of the preventive innovations which have been developed in our country by our country. These are some of the other innovation. We have Swasth Slate, that is a portable kit for preventive community settings. We have a telemedicine platform. That's an interesting one, where the doctors can communicate to the patients which are in a village, who cannot access the facilities. In our in PGI also we have this type of platform, who are there in a village can access the super specialization services via this telemedicine platform. We have a digital platform for tuberculosis surveillance, that is NICSHE, and we have electronic vaccine intelligence network. Now, coming to the diagnostic innovation, that is, we are not able to prevent the disease, but we want to diagnose them early so that we can get appropriate and adequate treatment for them. There, I have highlighted these two things, that is portable point of care tuberculosis, COVID-19 and HIV tests, that is costing merely 1,000 rupees per test at TrueNat. And then we have this continuous glucose monitor test. So these are the things which have been developed primarily by CSIO, CSIR, and there are other devices, that is smartphone enabled ECG device, which detect very early the problems in our cloud linked low cost diagnostic. Like for example, you can see the x-rays. So now this is also artificial intelligence based, where people can diagnose initially where there are no doctors, like what is the problem in the x-ray. So they can do an easy screening for these type of patients. Then we have a cervical cancer or diabetic retinopathy. It's a big problem. The diabetic affects the eye. So how we can easily diagnose them in the early stage so that the treatment is provided and it can be cured. Otherwise, at the advanced stage, they are non-curable. Then we have, I already told you about a digital TB platform and EV network. Now coming to the therapeutic innovation, that is treatment. Now you have seen in COVID times, the low cost ventilators that was initially around 10 lakh rupees when we used to import them from outside. And we in India are developing at a mere cost of 1.5 to 2 lakhs. Then we have an affordable dialysis machine. It's very cost effective. The patients who are kidney patients, we have seen in our hospital, they are spending a lot of, earlier they are spending a lot of money for them, but now they are being provided this affordable dialysis. So then we have a generic drug via Jan Aushadhi Kendra. Then we have indigenous oxygen concentrators. Again, these two devices are mainly developed by CSIR, CSIO, and we have some robotic-based devices which are being implemented in our hospital as well. And we have smart inhalers and low-cost drug delivery devices, which are very useful for poor patients. Now there are some supportive innovations which are there, which are like ABA Health ID, the digital missions, which are like every patient, every person has their ID card, so that if there are any problems, anything which are there, it can be documented and the doctor can see initially what the patient has gone through, because the patient normally lose their cards. So that is one. Then there is a real-time patient feedback mechanism. Then digital vaccine delivery system is there. Then we have a transplant. Basically, there is a government e-market system or e-place where all the devices and all the drugs can be there. And now in India, we have a health technology assessment. That is one thing which has come in a big way, which is able to provide the cost-effective adoption of new devices. So that is one thing which is coming in a big way in our country, and many people are taking cues from our country. We have rehabilitated devices. We know about the Jaipur foot, which is a prosthesis. If somebody is amputated, so they can use these prosthesis at the cost of merely 5,000 to 25,000 rupees. If somebody is not able to hear, then we have cochlear implants. Then if there are mobility aids are available, exoskeleton prototypes are there, and there are some wearable for chronic disease monitoring like smart BP monitor and portable ECG. Again, we can see we have a lot of contribution of CSIR and CSIO in this. So the benefits of these innovations are the real-time data, transparency, accountability, and low cost. They are scalable, and they have a potential to scale up in a big way, and they are replicable in various developing nations as well. So I conclude by my lecture by saying that we in India is uh, is developing in a very fast pace, and we are demonstrating that we can innovate a very low cost devices which are equitable and which can serve the entire continuum of our society, and also work in a care continuum that is preventive, diagnostic, therapeutic, supportive, and rehabilitative. And we have a excellent engineering network. We have a good digital health infrastructure. We have a public sector R&D. We have hospitals who want to contribute to these devices, and we are providing a model for other countries for LMIC who want to achieve universal health coverage. So I thank you all, and especially to CSIR, CSIO for giving me opportunity to speak about some public health innovations which has taken part in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Sonuwal. Thank you for presenting the advanced public health through affordable medical devices. Thank you, sir. Now I invite our next speaker, Dr. Sanjay Singh, for presenting AI-enabled vision-based technologies for healthcare applications. Over to you, Dr. Sanjay Singh. He is Senior Principal Scientist at CSIR CSIR Planning.
Yeah, hello. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, thank you, Abhishek, for introducing me, and special thanks to CSIR, CSIO, and CSIR headquarters for organizing this session on advanced and affordable health medical devices. So this talk is about AI-enabled vision-based technologies for healthcare applications. So basically, I will be discussing about the R&D work done on the cutting-edge AI-enabled vision-based technologies and focusing on the four major verticals. First one is non-contact monitoring of vital health parameters. Second one is privacy preserving human fall activity recognition. Then lensless imaging, and finally dynamic vision sensors for eye gaze estimation. So starting with the first one, non-contact monitoring of vital health parameters. So if you look at the two graphs on the right side, so there is a clear-cut indication that over the last few decades, there is a increase and huge increase in the chronic heart disease and as well as the deaths caused by the respiratory disease. So this shows that there is a clear-cut requirement for a health monitoring system for the mass level screening, and preferably it should be a non-contact. So what CSIR has worked in past 4-5 years is on a vision-based system, which is mainly by using the RGB cameras and combining with the remote photoplethysmography techniques for non-contact monitoring of the vital health parameters of a person or any subject. So this has the targeted use cases in neonatal care. So basically, this system is based on the fact that if there is a skin which can be imaged or for which the video can be recorded, so vitals of a person can be derived from that video. So for this kind of system, the use cases are neonatal care unit, then care of cardiac patients post-operation, then for monitoring of the subjects which are in isolation, since this is a vision-based. And it also applies for day-to-day activities where, like in smart homes, it can be embedded with the mirror. So people are now talking about the smart mirrors as one of the area. The other can be now many of the TVs are having the cameras. So it could be by using the camera mounted on your TV while you are watching the TV. Or it could be in the hospitals where you just go and stand in front of the system and it will give you your vitals easily, or at public places for the mass screening as shown in these two videos. Okay, so coming to this actual technology aspect of this system. Yeah. So this system, as I mentioned, is based on the remote photoplethysmography techniques that commonly known as RPPG. So it is very well known that blood pulsations cause the minute changes in the skin reflection properties. And if we can detect these skin reflection properties by using the camera and then process them by using the signal processing and extract, so one can easily derive or extract the different vital parameters. And the vital parameters which can be measured by using such kind of vision-based system includes heart rate variability, respiration rate, and in some cases blood pressure and oxygen saturation as well. So the system is just a portable system which includes a RGB camera, which is a standard 30 fps full HD camera, and a processing device which could be your any GPU or CPU based device. So it has three major components. The first major component, as I mentioned, is based on the skin properties. So it captures the face of a person. The second one is applying the signal processing to extract the RPPG signal. And the third one is finally extracting and validating the vital health parameters. So just through this video, you can just see, like we have tested this system by using some of the commercial solutions which are available. So mostly finger PPG based and other ECG based methods. So you can see that heart rate of a person in this video is 94, and the system which can by using RPPG or based on the face video is 98. So that or 96 or 95. So the kind of accuracy we have achieved is plus minus 5 bits per minute for any kind of subject. That is the accuracy we have achieved. And this is after a small cardiac activity. Now, obviously, it will increase. So it is going 133 and 135. So this is as accurate as I mentioned, plus minus 5 bits per minute for any system. But the good part is it is a non-contact. So we have done a good validation in the hospitals and on a large group of people where there's a variation in the age, gender, and the skin tone, because skin tone plays a major role in such kind of system where the processing is based on the skin color, or like pixels extracted from your face region. So this is the study we have done on over 250 patients in the hospital, and you can see from these two graphs that the accuracy of the system by using our method as well as the established available technologies, which is your finger PPG or based on your ECG, is it plus minus 5 bits. That is what we have achieved. And already one copyright filed on this. So now then we have combined this system for the mass screening at the public places or in the healthcare environment. So we have combined this camera-based thing with a thermal camera and some radar unit. So this is the final device, which actually 3 labs come together: CSIR, series, CSIO, and NAL, and we developed this system. And this system, if a subject goes and stands in front of the system, it automatically adjusts the height of a height by detecting the face of a person, and then calculates the vitals by detecting the skin pixels, and then display them. So it is automatically adjusting the height, you can see in the video, and then it detects the vitals and finally displays the vitals by calculating. So this is one technology for which, and this was majorly funded by Samsung and CSIR. Now coming to this next one, which is a wearable privacy preserving human fault activity recognition. So as we all know, nowadays old age population is increasing in the country. So with this increasing population, this kind of system becomes very important. So one way is to the wearables, but that hinders the natural behavior and the other aspects. People are going for the non-contact based things. So in non-contact space, there are the many methods available. Some people are deploying the cameras and multiple cameras to get the proper views. But these have limitations like privacy and all these issues. So we have addressed this problem by using a 360-degree camera, so that we need not to use the multiple cameras, so we can avoid the cost, synchronization, other aspects. So this single camera covers the data from all the different angles, and we created a complete in-house data set, and then we have done this privacy preserving. So actually this is the image which is going in the camera. This is just for the reference, and if there is any fall, so then this original image is reconstructed and message is sent on the mobile device. So this is already, again, as I mentioned, funded by Samsung, and we have patents and publications already IP in this space. Now coming to the third technology, which is the lensless imaging. So this is a novel area. If we talk about any lensed microscope or lensed camera, so lenses accounts for 90% of the bulk and cost of camera. So if I say no lens, means there is an extremely flat camera, and the advantage is that I can have a more spatial region I can cover without having the lens, because I don't have that focus defocus concept. So this is a bare camera with some kind of random diffuser, and the objective here is from this lensless image, can I get the real image? And the main property we have utilized is the point separate function. So the advantages are it is used for computational microscopy. You can see there can be a computational microscope as small as on your fingertip. And we can get like 360-degree scenario. And by using the single image, we can construct the 3D imaging. So these are the advantages. So one can go through the details, and if you have any questions, you can contact CSIR. So there are some initial studies done, and now we are building the prototype. And this is one kind of technology which is available. So we have experimented with different kind of neural networks, physics-informed neural networks, and then synthesizing the lensless images to lensed image. So, coming to that final final topic of this talk. So it is about, as I mentioned, neuromorphic eye gaze estimation. So as we know, this eye gaze estimation plays a critical role for many neurobiological disorders in Alzheimer's disease and others. So there is one major aspect of this eye gaze estimation. Basically, we are interested in the scatic eye movement, which is very fast. So temporally, it happens in microseconds. And the second is it happens many scenario. It is in low lighting conditions. So the best choice we have explored is dynamic vision sensors, which are not the image-based cameras. These are simply capturing the single pixel intensity changes. So these can have a very high temporal resolution, up to 10,000 fps or more, and have very high dynamic range. So even works in the low lighting condition. So you can see in normal camera there is a clear blur, but if you use lensless camera, which is intensity based, there is no blur. So this is another interesting thing, technology which is available. This is a wearable lensless camera mounted on a head, and person can we can track the scatic eye movements of a person over a period of time, which can be utilized to detect the neurobiological disorders. yeah, so thank you for your kind attention, and I thank CSIR, CSIO, and CSIR headquarters for organizing this session and giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay Singh, for sharing your thoughts on the work done in vision-based technology and how AI can be embedded for having different application around it. I thank you, and for the information of audience, there will be a question answer session at the end of all the presentations. So you can write down your questions, and we'll have it after the end of all presentations. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Abhishek Gupta, senior scientist from CSIR CSIO and co-convener of this workshop, for his thoughts on computational imaging for safer diagnostics. Over to you, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you, Dr. Nilesh, for introducing me and for inviting me to present the session on computational imaging for safer diagnostics. So first of all, the problem, as we know, the growing reliance on computer tomography, which is a high computational, high ionizing modality, where the high radiations are involved, and most of the radiologists are using the CT or the ionization modality due to the technological advancement, improved diagnostic accuracy, or increased availability, and due to the specialist use. But our rising concern is over the patient exposure, because it is vulnerable for the cancer risk, and the cumulative radiations are there. As the number of scans are there, the radiations will be cumulative. So it is especially very critical when the patients are pediatric patient, pregnant women, or the patient where repeat imaging are there. So our need is, if we can provide the safer alternatives without compromising the diagnostic quality. So here the paradigm shift comes when we move from the hardware based improvement to the computational innovations. So my mean to say that, can we derive some computational imaging methods which are similar to the CT without or reducing the ionizing radiations? So for achieving this, we can use the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and generative AI. Our goal will be the same, the high quality diagnostic images without or with minimal ionization radiations. So in this presentation, I will discuss the four different type of experiment, four different type of methods are related to this. First, I will discuss the conversion of head MRI to head CT image to reduce the radiations in the CT image. Second, I will discuss reconstruction of maxillary sinus volume from two X-ray images. Third, the construction of 3D virtual framework from two X-ray images. Fourth, the development of 3D anatomical structure from two X-ray images. So here, the main idea is, either we are using the X-ray image with the minimum radiations to achieve the diagnostic quality of CT-like, or we will use the MRI image which are free of radiations and will try to convert into the CT image. So first one is where the MRI image is the input and we can convert into the CT image. So this type of experiment is very useful for the radiotherapy patient, where the CT as well as MRI both are required, or for the patient where both type of modalities are required. The benefit is we will be avoiding the radiations exposure while acquisition of the CT images. But this is possible through the generative AI based method, and CSIR is working on that. Second experiment is also inspired in the same series, where the minimal radiations, like in X-ray, like if we take two X-ray image, lateral image and the PA image, two image of the patient is taken, and we can convert it into the or we can convert the 3D maxillary sinus, that is a part of the human upper airway. So we can take only 2 X-ray image and we can convert 3D maxillary sinus of human upper airway. So it will be useful to treat the patient where the problem related to the upper airway. It again eliminates the higher radiations, because the conventional method is to treat the patient using the computational images or the CT images. So we have completed this experiment, or we are able to convert the X-ray image, into the 3D maxillary sinus. The volume. The volume can be the quantitative volume as well as the qualitative volume. It is useful for the abstractions, sinusities, nuchal thickening, formation of polyp, or the retention crest. The same experiment is shown. The results are shown over here, where the results are compared with the actual CTs. So you can have an idea like what kind of results we can get using this experiment. Third one is construction of The third one is construction of 3D virtual framework from 2 X-ray images. This experiment is performed for the 3D cephalometric analysis, but it can be used for any type of human anatomy where you only need 2 X-ray images, lateral X-ray and the P X-ray, and the radiologist is required to mark only the landmarks, and those landmarks will be converted into 3D, and a 3D framework will be presented, and that 3D framework will enable the radiologist or the doctor to perform the measurements, while that can be linear, angular, ratio, or any type of measurement. So here you can see the 3D framework, which is equivalent to the 3D view or the computation or the computer tomography. So the meaning to say that the whatever analysis is performed on the computer tomography, that can be performed using the derived 3D framework. So it again with the significance of elimination of the higher radiation, because that can be done on the. Similarly, the fourth experiment, this is under the pilot implementation phase, where we are proposing only 2 X-ray images, lateral image and the PA image. Both contribute to develop a 3-dimensional view or a CT-like structure. It is possible through the generative AI method. It eliminates the high radiation exposure to the patient and support the ALARA principle as low as reasonable achievable. It provides the improved access to 3D diagnostic imaging, cost saving for patient and healthcare system. It advance of digital and remote health solutions and support. Now I conclude this one. The outcome is the invention preserves the diagnostic integrity, reduce high radiation risk. It aligns with ALARA principle as low as reasonable achievable. Presented examples are the start of the such futuristic invention. These experiments are not limited. More experiment. These are just the start of the such type of experiment, and this will achieve new heights. And these are possible due to the deep learning and generative models, and these are towards the radiation free diagnostics. Again, the challenges can be the clinical validation, standardization, and regulatory approval. So now I conclude the computational imaging is safer, smarter, sustainable healthcare, because it eliminates the radiations. It encourages the clinicians, researchers, and technologists to embrace the innovation. The future will be the high diagnostic accuracy without radiation burden. So the quote is the best radiation is the one never given. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abhishek, for taking us to the theme of safer diagnostics, which is very much required. And now
So now I invite Dr. Nilesh Kumar, Chief Scientist, CSIR CSIO. He will present the rehabilitation and assistive technology in CSIR CSIO spectrum. Over to you, Dr. Nilesh.
Thank you very much. Okay, so very good afternoon, and again greetings from CSIR CSIO. First of all, I would like to thank CSIR headquarters for giving us this opportunity to organize this session on a very apt topic of advanced and affordable medical devices. And being the host institutions, I would like to take an opportunity to introduce the audience about the CSIR structure, the Council for Scientific and Industrial, different labs, which are exist in the country. So the mandate given to CSIR was to develop technologies and innovations which are industry oriented, and it should reach to the people and help in their economic development. So there are around 37 different national laboratories, and the number of scientists in CSIR family is around 4,600. So CSIO, which stands for Central Scientific Instruments Organization, is a lab dedicated for the instrumentation in different spheres, and biomedical instrumentation is one such area. The lab was established in 1962 and has a mandate to design and development of scientific instruments for societal, industrial, and strategic applications. We have around 450 employees, and around 102 are scientists, and 100 plus are the PhD students, which really help us to develop the technologies. So in biomedical areas, biomedical application areas, there are four focus areas in which CSIO works. The first one is the development of diagnostics and therapeutic instruments, where we try to develop the chemistry analyzers and other diagnostic instruments by which we can assess the overall health or some critical parameters of the individuals. The second theme is rehabilitation and assistive technologies, where we have developed few technologies that helps the uh, assistance in impairment, or making the support which is required by the processes or the orthotic user in that particular cases. Imaging and machine-based intelligence, Dr. Abhishek has already explained like how machine intelligence or AI applications can be embedded with image, so that will lead to different technologies. And one of our strong presence in the development of customized orthopedic implants. So coming to the theme of my presentation, CSIO works in two different domains. The one is the development of robotic devices for rehabilitation, where we have worked on robotic gait trainer. So it is an robotic device which has four subsystems. One is which Dr. Sonu has mentioned in his presentation, like exoskeleton devices. It's a wearable device which takes care of the weight of the individual and propels or helps him to go into the next phase. The body unweighing support system helps the individual to unweigh his body weight, and because of the muscle atrophies and other phenomena, they were not able to execute the muscular function. Similar way, the gait trainer walkway helps us to do the rehabilitation in confined way. And the biofeedback system, which Dr. Sonu again mentioned, that how virtual reality can be used for the rehabilitation. So this device we have developed, we have completed the engineering trials, and the device is very much suitable for the patients of the stroke, spinal cord injury patients. So in general, I can say where the assisted gait is required, the device is possible to be used. In similar way, we have worked on exoskeleton for rehabilitation. There are two broad segments while doing the exoskeleton. One is for the assistant or augmenting the effort. The second one is for the rehabilitation. So in rehabilitation, we have developed a device where the subjects who are wheelchair bound can be take the help of the device, and the device is an active device, and it will help to like walk in an overground situation with the support of some physiotherapist or assistant who will be like monitoring the walk of the individual. In similar way, we have worked on electronic knee joint. This device is very much required in low resource setting where the amputation is happened from the above knee. So the amputation is transfemoral amputation happened. So the idea here is because the gait is a signature event and every individual walk at different speed and different style. So how we can adapt those style and develop a device. So we have put in some sensors which senses the gait parameters and the gait parameters which fed into the controller, and those controllers really take care of the gait variability and assist in the next phase. This is a good concept actually for easy manufacturing of customized orthosis, where the contour scanning has been done on the cases of congenital hemiparesis. In this particular case, again a collaboration with PGI MER Chandigarh, where we have scanned the distal limb and developed the 3D printed orthosis, and these orthoses has been used by subjects to do their routine activities. This concept is called virtual reality system for neuromotor rehabilitation. So our target is how the conventional rehabilitation scales can be mapped into the emerging games, and those games can have a high engagement rate, and because of the higher engagement, the subject rehabilitation will be sustained and very uniform. So we have got a very good success in this particular area, and we have tried these devices or these applications on spinal cord injury, Parkinson's patients, cerebral palsy, and few cases of intellectual impairment also. And this device being an IoT supported framework, so multi-centric trials or multi-centric control is also possible in this, and the data is all coming to the cloud and can be used for analysis and identifying the recovery rate as well as predicting the rate of recovery and their saturation points in particular rehabilitation. These devices, we worked very closely with Alimco, who is the next speaker in this particular session, where we have tried to use the EMG signals for the control of the myoelectric hand, and it is required by the amputees who have lost their hand from below elbow. And of course, in the downward images also, we have worked on the above elbow prosthesis also in this particular case. So this video, actually, you can see that we have used EMG for controlling the individual finger movement, and this is concept is called bionic, and we are working on finalizing the prototype. So this is like how finger gesture can be used, because you have seen many cases where the subjects were not able to move their wheelchair because of the impairment in their distal arm, maybe in the fingers, or they're not able to make the actual maneuverability. So we have developed a touch screen-based gesture recognition device, and the application is called Mobi Assist. And with this application, it can be attached to any wheelchair, and these wheelchair can then be used by a patient with limited mobility impairments. So in the similar way, we have also trying to use the eye gauge for the control of the wheelchair, because there are cases of quadriplegia and the other where the movement is restricted and the subject are not able to use their um, arms and limbs or the fingers to control the joystick. So we are trying to like generate the gesture based control, and we have generated around 6 to 7 different control to this particular applications. This is again a very good product from CSIO. It's a blind reading machine. So it converts the image into an um, to a voice basically, and this voice is configured for different languages. Indian languages right now, they are English, Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, Punjabi. So this helps an visually impaired individual, so he can scan even newspapers, books, or any printed material included, where the images are also included, and then the text is being converted into an loud audio. So again, I am very thankful for the collaboration with Elimco on this particular area, where with their support, we have developed low vision aids. These aids are required for the subjects where the visual acuity is not exceeding 6/18 in better eye, and with this it is possible to like they can do their minimum activities, and the limited of field vision of is also like with the 40° to up to 10 degrees. So here we have used aspheric technique for development of these lenses, and these lenses we have tested, and the trials are coordinated by Elimco, and it has been launched by our PM during the event, and now Elimco is going to scale up this. So this ends to my slides. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Dr. Nilesh, for presenting a brief CSIR CSIU spectrum and the advancement in the biotechnology and bioinstrumentation. So now I invite Mr. Ritesh Kumar, Mr. Ritesh Srivastav, Deputy General Manager, Elimco. He will present the affordable assistive devices for developing countries.
Thank you. Thank you, Nilesh. You have already told much about the Elimco. Let me introduce. My slide is visible to you?
Sorry, sir. Actually, your screen is shared, but not the slides.
Okay. Just hold on.
Yes, it's visible. You can do it in full slide mode. First one from beginning.
Yes. Yeah, it is visible, I think. Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah, right. Please.
Yeah. Good afternoon to all of you. I am Ritesh Srivastav. I am mechanical engineer by qualification, and I am working as a Deputy General Manager at Artificial Limbs Manufacturing Corporation of India, Elimco. At present, I am responsible for design development, IT department, and plant maintenance over here. Let me give you brief introduction about Elimco. Elimco is a Government of India enterprises. This is central PSU under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. And we are since last 50 years producing the assistive devices for the person with disabilities. Unlike many companies, we are not focused on the profit. Our main aim is social impact, empowerment, and inclusion. We produced wide range of assistive devices in all the field of the disabilities, such as prosthetic orthotics, like Nilesh has already shown the above knee, below knee, and mobility aids also. In each area, we are producing wheelchairs, tricycle, motorized tricycles, and hearing aid and visual aids also we are producing. And behind the ear, we are manufacturing about 2 lakhs behind the ear we are producing every year. And also we have introduced the special devices for the person with mental disabilities. These are the products which we are producing. These are different types of wheelchairs we are producing, such as including a sports wheelchair. This is shown in the middle, and other the assistive wheelchairs. We are producing different type of wheelchairs, soil tires, and customized according to the beneficiary, and electric operating wheelchairs also. We have done the transfer technology with the Motivation UK. Under this, we are producing active folding wheelchair. This is sports wheelchair. This is powered wheelchair, and by joystick we can move it towards anywhere. And this is other three-wheeler vehicle. This is manual tricycle. It is operating by the hand propeller. And these are the rehabilitation products such as axle crutches, rollator, CP chair, ADL kits, elbow crutches, and below knee. And we have also done the transfer of technology with the Ottobock, Germany. Under this TOT, we are producing above knee, below knee kits. And this is the other area of visual impaired persons. We are not producing but distributing the smartphone, and we are producing a smart cane also. This there is sensor inbuilt, and by detecting any obstruction, it will buzzer. And this is the hearing impaired behind the ear. We are producing programmable and non-programmable based both. Under the AI mission, we are also going to produce the AI enabled behind the ear with IIT Kanpur. And this is the product for intellectual disability persons. There are different 4 type of kits. Actually, this is the teaching learning material, TLM kit. This is spinal support, walking rollator with brakes, walking stick with seat, knee brace, and wheelchair with commode, knee cap, chair stool with commode. Recently, we have designed posterior walker rollator. This is the posterior walker rollator. Silicon foam cushion. We are not producing, but we are distributing. Corner chair, also we are distributing. Alimco has signed so many MOUs with different organizations, such as Nilesh ji said earlier, that CSIR, we have producing together a low vision glasses. And with IT Madras, DRDO, we are producing Kadam, that is the knee. CDEC, we are producing behind the ear. And we have also signed the MOU with ISRO. And ISRO is making the microprocessor based knee for us. And after fully technology transfer, we are producing over here. We have signed a MOU with the CPET for plastic technology, and ID, AMTZ also we have signed an MOU. Medani for material. And there is a private factory, that is Mtron. We have signed a MOU with them for 3D printing technology. This photo is already shown by the Nilesh to you. The low vision glasses, we have produced several low vision glass, and Honorable Prime Minister is distributing to the girl child. Alimco also plays a key role in two important Government of India schemes, that is ADIP, Assistance to the Disabled Person, and RUI, this is Rashtriya Vayashri Yojana. There is some challenges in developing regions. If we look beyond India, the challenges are even bigger. The World Health Organization says that about 16% of the world's population lives with some form of disability. Out of this, almost 80% live in developing countries. This means more than 650 million people face not just their disabilities, but also problems for poverty, poor healthcare, and lack of access to the assistive devices. In rural area developing countries, the situation is worse because the healthcare facilities are very limited. Women and elderly peoples are more affected, and disability often leads to lower education, unemployment, and poverty. The lack of affordable assistive devices does not only impact the individuals but also affects families, communities, and the overall economy. And we are producing very affordable assistive devices. And recently, we are tapping to the global market. The rising demand in developing countries due to population growth, longer life spans, and increasing the case of disabilities and injuries. There are limited local manufacturing facilities in the many developing countries. And Alimco is the hub and the lead manufacturer of the assistive devices. This is the strength of Alimco. Till date, we have served 4.3 million people, and we have 35 products categories and 355 type of products we are handling. This is the way forward to go ahead with joint R&D that we have already signed so many MOU with different organizations, training programs, fitment camps in global alignment. The challenges faced by the person with disability in developing countries are very large, but the opportunities to work together are very strong. With our capacity in experience and social commitment, Alimco is ready to partner with all the government, NGO, and international organizations, and also with private organizations. So we have recently released the EOI for joining hand with the private companies to ensure the assistive devices are developing everyone who needs them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ritesh Srivastav. Thank you for presenting the affordable assisted devices. Now, I welcome our next speaker, Dr. Rajesh. He is Chief Scientist at CSIR NPL. He will be presenting the CSIR NPL contributions in metrology for health and quality of life. Ritesh, Rajesh sir, over to you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Your slides are visible.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me, and a very good morning and good afternoon to all of you. So this is a today I am going to present that the CSIR NPL contribution in metrology for health and of life. So metrology for health and quality of life. In India, medical device regulation emphasizes on the need for quality control and periodic calibration assessment of medical equipment in order to reduce errors associated with these devices. So therefore, the precise and accurate measurements are very crucial for correct diagnosis and critical medical decisions. So conversely, using the uncalibrated medical devices can lead to severe errors and then resulting in incorrect diagnostics and device failures, and in some cases even casualty and fatality. So therefore, regular testing and calibration of medical equipment is very, very essential to ensure accurate and periodic measurement, representing a crucial setup in establishing a robust and national quality healthcare infrastructure with the healthcare sector. So keeping this in view, the CSIR NPL role in quality infrastructure. So we CSIR at National Physical Laboratory is mandated to be India's National Metrology Institute, Apex Laboratories, by the Act of the Parliament, and is custodian of national standards of measurement. So what we call these as the national standards. So CSIR NPL is responsible for the realization, establishment, upgradation, maintenance, and dissemination of standards at part to the international level, providing metrological traceability across the country. So now I have just presented a schematic for the national health policy and quality infrastructure. Now this governance is it all governed under the Medical Device Rule 2017, and the important constituents are the quality infrastructure service providers, and these service providers are legal metrology. This comes under Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, and the written standards are taken care by Bureau of Indian Standard. This is another agency, and the other agency is Quality Control of India, which is responsible for the accreditation of all testing and calibration laboratories across the country. And there are other regulatory authority that is called CDSCO. This is Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Now, how the quality infrastructure services are provided? As I told you, this comes under the quality establishment, conformity assessment, that is called calibration, testing, certification, and inspections. So NABH is another national body in India under the National Health Policy, and this is a National Accreditation Board for health, for hospital and healthcare. And another important body is National Accreditation Body for testing and calibration laboratories. So all the testing and calibration laboratories in India are accredited by these agencies. Now, how these industries and the private labs are associated with that. So health services, production, manufacturers, research and development, they are in one stage. And then at the end, all these services go to the consumers and the people. That is capacity building and the quality of the life. So this is an overview of the national health policy that is of Government of India. Now, how the CSIR NPL is contributing in metrology for the health and quality of life. As I told, CSIR NPL is promising the quality measurement in the domain of biomedical metrology through working with different stakeholders for fulfilling the societal need of the nation in healthcare sector with the following objectives. So this is to establish and realize national standards of measurements compatible to international standards in biomedical instrumentation through continuous research and development. Another objective is the development, operation, maintenance of biomedical equipment standards, providing calibration services through dissemination of traceability of physical parameters. All 7 physical parameters are maintained at CSIR National Physical Laboratory, and traceability goes throughout the country from us to accredited testing laboratories and other stakeholders in the healthcare sector. So in other sense, we can say that all the physical parameters of the medical devices in the country are traceable to National Physical Laboratory, that is national standards. And our national standards are traceable to BIPM France, that is the SI units. So therefore, there is an unbreakable chain of traceability in SI units. Now, the fourth is very important work is the promoting, strengthening quality system in the country through conducting time-to-time awareness programs, workshop, and hand-on training, etc., among various stakeholders. And the last, we also do R&D for biomedical applications. So these are our objectives. Now, there are the few glimpses of the medical equipment standard which we have established as CSIR National Physical Laboratory. We have developed a biomedical equipment standard for the calibration of defibrillator analyzers, that is calibrators and defibrillator machine, which is a very important machine in the medical science, particularly to take care of the cardiac disease. And we also developed a biomedical equipment standard for the calibration of infusion device analyzer and the infusion devices, which are very crucial to give a controlled drug in chemotherapy and other therapeutic uses. We also developed a biomedical equipment standard for the calibration of ECG simulators. Similarly, an equipment standard was also established for electrical safety analyzer for the electrical safety testing of the medical electrical equipments. We also developed standards for transcutaneous pressure analyzer, and we also developed an equipment standard for the neonatal incubator and incubator analyzer. So these are the few facilities which we have established at CSIR to take care of the requirement of the healthcare sector. Now let us see the one facility which was recently established, that is for defibrillator analyzer. So without going to the detail of the technical here, so there is a source and here. So with defibrillator analyzer, the main parameters in that is the energy. So energy is very important here, but energy is a derived unit. So it is associated with the time also, the ampere current and the resistance. So you can see that we are all defibrillator analyzer parameters are traceable to NPL national standards, and the NPL national standards are traceable to SI units maintained at BIPM France to all over the world. So in this way, we maintain the unbreakable chain of traceability for the calibration of equipment. So this is a setup of that. The another setup is the infusion device analyzer. As I said earlier, that is a very critical device used for the treatment, particularly in carcinogenic states for chemotherapy and for the controlled drug delivery. Is very important, and even for giving the food to the babies or in control in a liquid manner. So here also we have designed the setup, and then indigenously set up in India a setup for that, for the calibration and as well as for testing of the infusion pumps. So now here the basic the primary units which are very critical are the pressure, that is for prison pressure, and the flow rate. And we have been able to establish a uncertainty measurement up to the level of the international standards, and with the intercomparison with the other countries, we have been able to get the best results and best capability calibration measurements for both for the flow rate as well as for the occlusion pressure. So this is a setup for that. The left hand side is a schematic of that. The right side is the actual facilities available there. This is the facility for the neonatal incubator analyzer and the incubators. So in the incubators, very critical parameters are the airflow within the chamber. And this airflow is so much critical that the speed of the airflow inside the chamber is only 0.3 meter per second. Up to maximum 0.2 to 0.3 meter per second is required. And similarly, there is a controlled temperature and then sound generated inside the chamber and the humidity under the control way. So in that way, there is an incubator analyzer with a calibrator, which is also very essential to be calibrated so that it is useful to test the incubators in hospitals, health centers, and so on. This is a schematic of the diagram. So there is a source for that. There is a wind tunnel source for that to maintain to generate a control airflow within the system. There is a driver cell to control the temperature. There is a macro chamber to control the humidity, and there is a sound calibrator to control the sound within that parameter which is required under the various standards, and then it is used to calibrate that. So we need to establish the 4 reference standards for that. So we have established 4 standards you can see in the picture. So this is the setup for the incubator and the analyzer. The other facilities are the ECG simulators and the electrical safety analyzer and the transcutaneous pressure analyzer. You can see here. So here the critical parameters are the voltage, the resistance, and the current. And here, as I told you, in ECG simulator, the frequency is very important. So that is also calibrated. And in case of a pressure analyzer, there is also the very much important is the frequency. So these are the few setups we have established, and these are operational and taking care of all the requirements from the secondary testing laboratories, hospitals, and healthcare. In this way, we are helping in India all the medical device producers, test secondary testing and calibration laboratories, and so on. So this is all about what is the contribution we have made from the CSIR National Physical Laboratories in the country. Thank you very much for your kind attention and questions. For any more questions, you may please contact Dr. Ramaswamy Bansal, International SNT Affair Director and Council of Scientific Knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh, for sharing your thoughts and valuable work done at NPL, which is a very strong pillar, like maintaining the standards and developing standards and requirements for it. So thank you very much. And now I would like to summarize the session. After the summary of session, we'll take the question answers from the participants. And if participants have any suggestions or feedback, they can write to CSIR headquarters. The IDs are shared on the brochure also. So this session, which is advanced and affordable medical devices, brought together a rich confluence of ideas, innovation, and experiences that collectively underscore transformative journey of Indian healthcare in the 21st century. The deliberation unfold as a narrative of progress, moving seamlessly from rehabilitation and assistive technologies to precision medicine, from innovation in public health to artificial intelligence in healthcare, from computational imaging to assisted devices, and finally to the foundational role of biomedical standards and metrology. The outcome that emerged is one of coherence and connection, revealing how each strand of innovation is interwoven with others to form a holistic vision of equitable, accessible, sustainable healthcare for all. The session of Science Summit thus concluded with the vision that advanced and affordable medical devices are not contradictory, but complementary ideas. India's unique position as a nation of immense challenge and equal immense ingenuity allows it to pioneer solutions that are globally relevant. By blending technological excellence with frugal design, by balancing innovation with compassion, and by coupling ambition with accountability, India can not only transform its own healthcare landscape, but also serve as a beacon for the world. The outcome of this dialogue affirms that equitable healthcare is not just a policy objective or a scientific challenge. It is a collective moral responsibility that demands innovation, collaboration, and empathy in equal measures. Together, these initiatives form a comprehensive roadmap, one that combines compassionate technology, precision medicine, systematic innovation, AI-driven tools, sustainable imaging, affordable assistive solutions, and robust standards. India is thus demonstrating how healthcare can be advanced, affordable, inclusive, and globally relevant, offering lessons for the world and shaping the future of the medicine. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now I would like to ask participants if they have any questions or suggestions for these speakers. They may raise their hand, unmute themselves, and please ask. Okay, just like Elimco is a very strong partner with CSIO and CSIR in shaping the prosthetic and rehabilitation activities. So I have a question, sir. Actually, like we are partners, but what is your opinion on the real challenges which, as an industry, you see while adapting the R&D outcomes, and how that translation can be much smoother? So I would like to have your thoughts on it.
Yeah, the main challenge is the projection. Actually, we are facing the problem We are producing together the low vision glasses. Now, we don't know actually what is the requirement pan India.
True.
So this is the main challenge, so that we can proceed accordingly. This is the same for the prosthetic orthotics and mobility aids also. So this is the main challenge.
Fair enough, sir. So like estimating the need assessment or requirement like in correct way is the first prime goal for this. Thank you. Thank you. So now I would like to hand over this session to Dr. Abhishek for to propose a vote of thanks, please.
Thank you, Dr. Nilesh, for inviting me to present the vote of thanks. On behalf of organizers, CSIR, Central Scientific Insurance Organization, CSIR CSIU Chandigarh, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who contributed to the success of today's session on advanced and affordable medical devices, held under the banner of the Science Summit at the 80th United Nations General Assembly. First and foremost, I express sincere appreciation and gratitude to the Director General of CSIR, Dr. N. Kalaiselvi, and the Director of CSIO, Professor Santanu Bhattacharya, who have inspired and supported us in organizing this session. I wish to thank our distinguished speakers, Dr. Viren Sardana, Dr. Sonu Goyal, Dr. Sanjay Singh, Dr. Nilesh Kumar, Mr. Ritesh Srivastav, and Dr. Rajesh for their insightful presentations. Their talks have not only broadened our understanding, but also inspired us to look at healthcare innovation through the lenses of affordability, inclusivity, and sustainability. I acknowledge the convener, Dr. Nilesh Kumar, Chief Scientist and Head of the Biomedical Instrumentation, and the organizing committee at CSIR headquarters. At CSIR headquarters, Dr. Rama Swami Bansal, Chief Scientist and Head, International S&T Affairs Directorate, Dr. Anand Mohit, Principal Scientist, Dr. Yaten Satija, Senior Scientist, and their tireless efforts in planning and seamlessly conducting this session. Special thanks are due to our partners, collaborators, for their continued support in strengthening CSIR's mission of connect, collaborate, converge, and convert 5C towards global sustainable development. To our esteemed participants and attendees from across the globe, your engagement and presence have enriched this session and affirmed the importance of collective action in advancing Sustainable Development Goal 3, good health and well-being. As we conclude, let us carry forward the spirit of collaboration and innovation showcased today and work together to ensure the advanced medical technologies remain accessible, affordable, and impactful for all. Thank you once again. Thank you all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Dr. Sheikh, can we take a photograph of all the speakers?
Yes. So I request all the speaker and all the participants to please turn on your cameras so that we can take a photograph.
कैसे लें? Kritika. Please turn on your camera so that we can click a photograph. कैसे करेंगे? मैं कर देता हूँ. This is slow.
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Arindam, please be stable. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I have taken the screen shot and I'll be sharing. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
करूँ मैं?